every time that I've felt burnt out, it made me take like 3 steps back. And I had to regain my confidence, regain my energy, regain my love for the thing. All of this stuff that I was ignoring when I was burnt out. What is up, you guys? It's me, Gaylyn Lareese, and welcome back to another girl talk video here on my channel. I'm just gonna chat with you guys about burnout, my experience with burnout, and kind of how I've come to think about it so I can help myself avoid those situations and kind of keep myself in a place where I can continue to work on the things that I wanna work on in a healthy and more joyful way. So hopefully this video is gonna be helpful for you. This makeup is not, I'm just playing on my face, you know what I'm saying? I just wanna get to know you guys. I wanna share my thoughts, and I would love to hear in the comments down below if there is something that you're feeling burnt out about, or something that you're working on that you're feeling a little burnt out in. I'd like to hear from you guys. I wanna get to know you guys. I wanna hear what kind of stuff you guys are working on and what things are important to you. And so you commenting and letting me know will really help me kind of understand what kind of videos I want to make in the future. But anywho, let's get into this girl talk and this little look. So in the last girl talk, I kind of just chatted with you guys about how I became more confident and how for a very long time I wasn't, and how sometimes I'm still not. So if you haven't seen that video, I suggest you also watch that one, just because it gives you a better idea of the kind of person I am and where I'm coming from when I'm talking about this stuff. So I have definitely experienced burnout, and I've learned a couple things from my experiences. I've got my mirror over here, and I'm gonna be reaching over here a lot. I've learned a lot from my experiences, and the first thing I learned is how burnout feels on me. So for me, I need to start putting something on my face. Primer. I'm gonna use Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. For me, I have noticed that in the times that I've felt burnt out, it's been an imbalance for me in output versus input. And let me kind of explain to you what I mean by that. So first of all, if you're watching these videos, a lot of times I make these for people who are similar to me. So people who may be pursuing creative careers, or whether if that is with dance or something else. So that's where I'm coming from. In a perfect world, you have an idea for something, whether if it's your creative work or just whatever job it is that you're doing. You have energy to do it. You do the thing. And eventually, in a perfect world, it goes well. It gives you back some more of that energy for you to keep propelling yourself forward again. That's how if you're an entrepreneur, that's how your business continues to thrive and become more dynamic and change over time. But the issue is that with creative careers, that time of like getting that input back into you can take a very long time. A very long time, and it depends on so many things outside of just your efforts. And so what can happen, or at least what has happened for me when I have experienced burnout, and putting some edge control on my eyebrows first, what I have found has happened for me is that there is an imbalance in the amount that I'm supposed to be putting out versus the amount that I'm getting in. And so the energy that I'm putting into something isn't really delivering me the results energetically to keep me moving. And so it becomes that my output is larger than my input. I'm outputting into this work, into these creative tasks, into these people, into these things, and I'm not getting a lot back. And so that's what can make you feel burnt out. To me, this imbalance is something that I have become more conscious of, because I'm constantly thinking to myself, what am I doing? What am I putting my energy into, my time into, my emotions into, and what things are feeding me? And so the first thing I would suggest you do, if you do notice that you're starting to feel burnt out, is assess if you're getting enough inputs. Inputs can be things like spending time with family. It could be, getting a massage or getting your nails done. It could be a plethora of things that feed you energetically so that you can keep doing the things that you feel that you're supposed to be doing. But also, for creative people, I think it's also important to think about your creative inputs. So when I had the Dancers Moved by More Club, which I no longer have right now, but I'll probably bring it back in some form or fashion at some point. But one of the first lessons that I did with them, I feel like I spent half of this video just looking for stuff. One of the first things that I introduced to this group of people was the idea of creative flow. And if you've never heard of creative flow, it's essentially getting into your own mental state where things just become easier, ideas are coming to you. If you dance, it may be when choreography is just coming into your head and it's flowing through your body and it's like everything just clicks right. That's the feeling of flow. Anywho, I'm saying all of that to say that creative flow might be something that you're missing if you're noticing that you are in a space where you're feeling burnt out. And so, yes, my first tip would be figure out if maybe there are more inputs that you need, but if it has to do with creativity, figure out what kind of creative input you want to create for yourself that's going to allow you to have more time to go into a state of flow. So for me, when I felt like I was constantly being pigeonholed in the dance niche and that wasn't all I felt like I was and all I felt who I was, I decided to start doing DIY content on my channel. And I know that it's not for everybody, it's for me. I literally do it for me. I love making things with my hands. I love getting creative and trying new things and making things that I can put up in my home and feel good about. And so that was the creative input that I needed to feel more freedom in the other creative things that I do so I could get some enjoyment out of it. Because sometimes when you're feeling burnt out, especially if you're someone who runs a business or something like that, you have to continue doing essentially the same things in order to get a profit. So you find out what works in your business and you continue doing that. But the problem is that that can get very boring if you are a creative person, because then you start to feel like, well, dang, when am I ever gonna do something new? What this takes really is just thinking about what you need to add to your life right now. If you're feeling burnt out, the immediate response could be to shut down, but it could be that something is missing in your life that will kind of give you more enjoyment for you to carry out the other things that you have to do. I have these things from Urban Decay. I have a pink dress that I want to wear, but I'm not sure how I would do the makeup for it, so maybe I should, I don't know. I feel like this looks pretty fun, so I'm gonna dibble and dabble with this. The second thing I would say you should do is, it's gonna sound completely contrarian to what I just said, but to assess if maybe you need to rest. There have been some times where the reason why I've felt burnt out is simply because I was doing too much. And as someone who is an entrepreneur, who is creative, you know, and a lot of you guys know this, a lot of times it's just me, myself, and I. You know, a lot of times it's just you who has to do every single thing. And especially if you're just starting out, that's the place where I am. I'm not paying anyone to do anything right now. It's all me. And so what I am paying in is my energy and my time. And if I start to expend all of it, right? If I give too many outputs, I'm just depleted. Now, what I will say is, there's different types of rest, and you gotta figure out which one you actually need. Because with some rest, some people think of going on vacation as rest, and if that's you, that's fantastic. That's not me. I don't like traveling. I don't like going places. I don't like being in a new place and having to figure out where I need to go and da-da-da-da-da. So a vacation will never sound like a version of rest for me. Never. Rest for me is chilling at home, watching TV, maybe cooking meals with a friend, you know? And so you have to decide what that rest means for you instead of letting the people around you or the circumstances around you decide what that rest is. For me, what has been so helpful has been, I didn't plan when I went in with this. I just saw pink glitter and I said, let's go. And now I'm having second thoughts. For me, what's been so helpful has been having a rest day. I am an introvert, and as an introvert, one, I am very good at turning my social button on. I can fake it. I can do it very well, until I can't. And then I'm checked out. And so I need one day a week that is just Gaylyn rest day. And Gaylyn rest day, friends aren't coming over. We're not doing nothing. We're not going nowhere. If you call me, don't expect the call to be too long. For me, that's Sundays. That's my rest day. Implementing a rest day on Sundays has been so helpful for me and has been crucial for me to continue creating content on this channel. If I did not take my rest day, there is no way I would have the energy to be able to put out videos consistently. But because I know that that's what my business needs to grow right now, I'm willing to do it, but I needed to make the adjustments so that my output doesn't imbalance my input. You see what I'm saying? So, implement a rest day. If your friends feel a way about it, they'll get over it, especially the friends that really care about you because they want to see your stuff succeed. And if you just explain to them, and that's the thing, it might take you reinforcing some boundaries. And that's the third one. Because chances are if you're feeling burnt out and you're feeling depleted, it could be you taking on some stuff you shouldn't be taking on. And that could be what is contributing to your feelings of burnout. And so that may mean having to have some really tough conversations with people. I reposted this post in my story. I may put it on here if I can remember to go and get it. But it basically said, communicating your boundaries is your way of trying to keep people in your life, not push them out. And it's totally true. It's totally true. Because at some point, you're gonna break. At some point under all of that burnout, you're going to break. And it's going to turn into resentment for the people who are overstepping those boundaries. But the problem is, you didn't tell them what the boundaries were to begin with. You didn't let them know what you were and were not capable of putting out at this time. And if you did, maybe you did, but you didn't uphold those boundaries. I'm not doing enough makeup. I'm not getting enough ready in this video. Ooh, this scarf is tight. Hold on. Let me loosen her up a bit. Whew, about to squeeze my brains out. You want the sides of that part to lay down fresh, but at what cost, The reason why this is so important, you guys, is because burnout is such a terrible place to be. If you're someone who suffers from depression, it can be a slippery slope real fast, You're trying to also fight with your brain as well as fight with the outside world, and I'm not trying to do all of that. So I have to learn how to master my own actions. And I think that's what I've been learning to do is just trying to learn how to master how I deal with myself. I think behind dealing with burnout has to be a desire to get to know oneself and to try different things. I'm gonna take a second to figure out what I'm doing with this eyeliner. Let's see. That got messy. I feel like I did not do these eyeshadows in the correct order, and now I'm paying the price for it, but what can you do, Something else that I've learned from burnout, and this kind of, I guess, connects to resting. Now, if you're not a person who has a spiritual life, this one may not connect with you. Sometimes I've noticed that for me, burnout is God trying to tell me to just sit down for a second. Like, you're doing too much, sit down. I told you I've got you, right? You're doing what I asked you to do. So I need you to sit back and let me show you that I'm gonna do the things, you know? We have to put in the work. I can't just be sitting on my couch just waiting for these opportunities that I want to happen. I do have to get up and work. But if you know that you're getting up and doing the work, and you know that the thing that you're pursuing is something that you're supposed to be doing, that you feel so strongly that that's for you, you have to trust that even if you don't run yourself into the ground like a crazy person, it's still gonna happen for you. Anything that was actually for you, there's no way you could screw it up. If it doesn't happen for you, that means it wasn't for you, especially if you gave it your all. Okay. That did something that I liked. I think I want to do this like inner corner eyeliner, so let's see how that goes. I like that. That did something. And since we're here, I might as well ask you guys, if you are going through burnout, what is making you feel that way? Is it your job? Is it your relationships? I'm just curious, like, where are you guys coming from if you are feeling burnt out? So that maybe someone else in the comments can feel a little less alone. All right, let's do this face. Let's put some concealer on. Something else also that I think is gonna help you if you're feeling burnt out is just assessing things. Assess if the things that you are doing are moving you toward your goal, if they are actually moving you toward your goal. Because feeling that they're not is what is depleting those energy sources for you and not feeding back into you to help you get the energy and the momentum to keep going. Sometimes you've just kind of oriented your life around doing something one specific way, and so it may mean just taking a second to analyze if that's actually the most efficient way to do it when it comes to your energy. You know, it may sound in theory like it's a good idea to do that, but when you actually get to doing it, you may find that working that way actually depletes you in a way that doesn't make it make sense to go that way. You know, it may make sense for you to change up your plan. Also, asking for help. God, I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad at it. I'm getting better. Not my best area of expertise, asking for help. But a lot of times we be out here burning ourselves out and we don't even need to. Like, we could have simply just asked someone to help, or we could have simply just asked for a contribution, or we could have simply just asked someone to take this on who is more than willing to help you. And that's something else too, is I think, especially if you're a creative person, like, we can be so attached to the things that we're doing and making that to ask for help almost makes us feel like less of a creative or less of an entrepreneur. And that's not true, because there are people out there who want to help you. Now, everyone in the world isn't going to want to help you, you know? And sometimes no one's going to want to help you. But sometimes you didn't even ask, you know? And you're sitting here burning yourself out when you could have just opened your mouth, you know? And so sometimes these moments of burnout, they're not avoidable, but sometimes they are, because it can be so depleting to feel burnt out to the point where you are just like, just screw it all, you know? And that leads to depression, or can. Just taking a second to think, like, is there a way that I could do this differently? Is there a way that I could ask for a little help. Maybe I could be of help to someone else and they could be of help to me. It could be mutually beneficial, something, you know? Because working in that space of being burnt out is not sustainable. Every time that I've felt burnt out, it made me take like 3 steps back. You know, it's like I had to regain my confidence, regain my energy, regain my love for the thing, regain my creative abilities, regain my creative energy. Like all of this stuff that I was ignoring when I was burnt out, and it affected my business as an entrepreneur, it affected my relationships. And so, you know, obviously it could affect everything. and it just takes a second to be like, is the way that I'm going about doing this really good for me, you know? I think when it comes down to it, getting yourself, or dealing with burnout, overcoming burnout, all of that stuff comes down to giving yourself grace and being dedicated to learning yourself. Just allowing yourself to grow with yourself. Because the thing is like you're gonna get put in situations that you don't know how to deal with. And you're just gonna respond to them how you've always responded in your past. And for me, in my past, how I responded to a lot of things was just keep working harder, do more. You're tired, too bad. Take a nap for an hour, wake up and finish, you know? And what got me here won't get me there. You know, I've heard that saying before, and I think that's definitely true. What got me here will not get me there. And so if I know that that's true, that might mean I might have to try something a little bit different. Gonna finish up with a lip and then let's wrap this sucker up. This is NYX Lingerie. The color is Embellishment. Why did I stop wearing this? It's so pretty. I don't have a lip liner, but I do have a brown lipstick that I can use around the edges of my lips so I don't look so Bozo the Clown, you know? Oh right, and I have to do my hair, duh. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it didn't feel like a total ramble, although it kind of was, but you know, that's me. That's kind of how things go. I'm just always trying to understand my brain, and when I do understand what's going on in here, I can kind of help explain it to you better. So I hope you took something out of this. I hope if you are feeling burnt out that you kind of just assess if you're getting enough inputs, if you're getting enough things to feed you while you're pursuing this other thing that you're working on. And sometimes that may also mean just having to really reaffirm some boundaries so that you can get some rest, and so that you're not using all of your energy on things that maybe you shouldn't be expending your energy on. And honestly, sometimes also it just means you need to sit down. It just means that something greater than you is telling you to sit down and to stop thinking that you are the center of the universe and that everything that you do is going to determine everything that happens afterward, because it's not true. Life is gonna life, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen whether you put in 300% or not. And good things happen to good people, bad things happen to good people, and all of the above. And so it's just like, give yourself some grace, you know, give yourself some grace and some space so that you are enjoying this journey that you're on instead of letting it bring you more stress. So I love you guys. I am probably gonna do more girl talk videos like these. They're probably just going to be as chaotic as this one, and I'll finish the makeup halfway through just like I did with this one, but hopefully you took something from it. I'll see you guys in my next video next weekend. Later.